whatever that light source was is now higher overhead. That means it's moving from west to east. And that makes even less sense. Oh my goodness gracious. What's going on with the sky of Skyrim? So, nearly overhead. Looking up his trousers here. Nearly overhead. Now, yeah, there is a thunderstorm going on. There is lightning going on. But would it be casting a continual shadow like that? What's going on down here? We gotta see what's going on down here.
May the sun warm your path, friend. The road makes this one real.
Welcome.
It is a strange sight. They'll never see you coming. May your road lead you to warm sands.
Fortune smiles upon this meeting. It is all in this note. An astute question, for we have the wise. The dragons and the war have scared me. The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. Perhaps you have encountered Madrag or Akari. Both are sworn to me, and both have worthy goods to offer. Come and see what goods I offer. Khajiit welcomes you. Take a look.
Well, so far we've learned that whatever light source is in the sky at night moves west to east. That's, yeah. That's something. Oh, we've got some stuff.
I hope that you will come to do business with us again.
So, yeah. I want to check now. Kind of want to get back on the tower. This way. It's around midnight. Kind of middle of the night. Yep. Pretty well lit for midnight, I do gotta say. It's really hard to tell that it was night, like when the sun was actually setting. It probably 6:30 was kind of my guess. Somewhere between 6 and 7. I don't remember if it's on one of those hours or halfway. I want to see what happens in the morning. Yeah, so look at this. Midnight. Or not even midnight. Now it's later. Almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Whatever light source is in the sky, it's moving west to east. Because earlier, my shadow was longer, right? Pointing away from west, pointing towards east. Because stuff moves from east to west. My favorite way of remembering it. East rhymes with yeast. Yeast is added to bread to make it rise. It's a roundabout way to remember east, rise. So things in our sky appear to rise in the east. And I say appear because it's actually our planet spinning towards that object in the sky. Kind of think of it that way. Kind of like if I turn around in my chair, stuff that's on my left, if I turn towards my left, I start to see more things to my left. It's rising in my vision. And if I, let's go back here, and then I turn this way, stuff to my right appears to be setting in my vision. That's why we see things rise and set in the east and then the west. But the shadow is indicating otherwise for this world. It appears that in this world, whatever light source is up at night is moving west-east. Now, that's not unreasonable. It just means that, like, if let's say it's a moon, that means that it's... What would this mean? It's moving west-east, which our moon actually does that. Our moon actually gradually moves west to east, but not fast enough, not faster than the rotation of Earth. Hold on, let's pause here for a sec, because I thought of something else. So our moon orbits Earth, revolves, orbits, goes around Earth from west to east. Towards the east. And we also rotate towards the east, right? So we're rotating this way, and the moon's going around us the same direction. We spin a lot faster than the moon goes around us. The moon goes around us about every 29 days, almost once a month. So when you go out and you look at the moon, if you were to go out at the same time every single night, you would see the moon in different positions. It would look like it's gradually shifting eastward. That's the way it's moving. Now, in order for something to move fast enough during just one night for my shadow to move, that means it would have to be going west-east, like orbiting around faster than the planet is orbiting. Then that means we would be able to like sit out there at night, and you could gradually watch it, like it would be fighting against the rotation of the planet you're on. We're assuming the world of Skyrim rotates east to west, because we did just see the sun set in the west. So I think that's a safe assumption. So that means whatever's orbiting, whatever moon this is at night, giving off this light, mind you, bright enough to shine through the clouds of a thunderstorm and cast a pretty clear shadow. It had to be moving pretty quick around the planet. Now, I wonder if we could calculate how fast it's moving. It might have to be something I work on, because I'm gonna have to look up. I don't remember exactly how, like, exactly how many minutes per in-game time. Seems like I don't remember, so I'll have to look up like the precise amount of like real time to in-game time. But we could try at least one thing. Because I think we get to see like the shadow shift as we travel forward in time. So let's try something. I feel like right about now, it's like at its, what we call the zenith. It's the highest point in the sky. So, and it's about 1:30. So let's jump ahead. 24 hours. Oh, we need to get a better view of the shadow here. So this isn't the way. Got this recording. We're going to jump ahead 24 hours. We're going to see. Let's see if we can catch when is the shadow. Well, we're also going to get the daytime shadow. Let's see if the shadow actually shifts when the sun comes up. Actually, maybe let's do that before we jump ahead 24 hours. We're at 1:30. Let's go 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I want to see what happens when we get sunrise. Let's watch the shadow at least for these 4 hours. Let's see what happens. Do you see that? You see how it's shifted now? The shadow is pointing west. That means the object overhead is moving east. Yeah. It's moving east. It's moving out of... It just moved. Oh, geez. Let's see. Can we figure... I don't know. Would you say that shadow is about as tall as me? Does that look like a 45 triangle to you? So I went from like 0 degrees to 45. Went from like 0 to 45 in 4 hours. Probably work with that. That means we go the full 90 in about 8 hours, right? Or maybe it's just, maybe the game is just, it could just be 6 and 6. But it's weird that my shadow was like almost right underneath me at 1:30 now, like at midnight. So yeah, maybe, yeah, we'll say every 8 hours we go from zenith to the horizon. But that's not taking into account the planet we're on, its rotation. Because that's kind of subtracting from that motion. So we would need to compensate for that. Because it has rotated for 8 hours. At the same time it's moving for 8 hours. Man, whatever is orbiting, it's got to be going fast to counter. Because the planet's already spinning super duper fast. To do a full 24 hours in a few in-game minutes. How close? Oh man, because now I want to figure out how close would it have to be. I need to write this down. Meanwhile, we'll watch the eastern sky. Let's see if we can see the sunrise. Okay, so whatever was overhead went from overhead. So from overhead to, because it went from overhead to 45 in 4 hours. So let's just assume it's going from overhead